Welcome to Weekend Shelf Control with me, Liam.
And me, Frankie.
And this weekend, we're doing part one of our May 2026 book haul. So, this isn't even the full stack of what I'll be talking about today. And I think, Frankie, you've got more than what you're showing as well, right?
Yeah, a bit more.
And again, this is part one. So, that should give you some indication of how this month has gone for book buying for us. Some might say it's gone really well. Some might say if our effort is to read more than we buy, we've done terribly. So, you might remember last month I got a collection of Give Yourself Goosebumps books,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a couple missing. So I had to rectify that, didn't I? So I've got Give Yourself Goosebumps. This is number 40, Zombie School. And then I got number 32. It's Only a Nightmare. These honestly, these look terrible, but you know. And then also number 39, Scary Birthday to You. That doesn't even make sense.
What even is that?
I think it's
Bugs.
a
Oh, bugs
birthday
in a cake.
cake.
Oh, yep, I
Yeah,
see it now.
and a rat. But like, Scary Birthday to You. Your parents have to work on your birthday, but don't worry, they've hired some guy to create a special horror birthday party for you. Can you say lame? Fuck off, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I believe I now have all of the Give Yourself Goosebumps books. Oh, I think it's like 52 or something of them, which is probably too many to have,
Now,
but
you just have to read them.
I've read two of them.
We just have to read all of them.
Yeah, it'll take me a while.
Okay, I'm going to start off with a little section of books that I bought based on recommendations.
Ooh,
So the first one was recommended by Ellie. So
yes.
I have We Are Legion, We Are Bob, which has some
Interesting.
lovely sprayed edges. Um,
Yes.
so hopefully Ellie has good taste.
We're gonna find out. Are we gonna buddy read this?
It could be fun. Has some
Yeah.
lovely art here and just a little bit
Interesting.
on the hardback. So, is there anything on the back? Yeah, just more of the scenery.
Yeah.
So, yes, I am looking forward to it and
Yeah.
hoping it will be good.
Well, okay. Before you go on to your others, just because you showed that one, um, I didn't know how many of these there were. I saw this has just come out in the UK.
Yeah, is that the
So this
fifth book?
the fourth one.
Fourth book, okay.
Yeah. So this is Heaven's River, which has that sprayed edge. So I'm still waiting for the fifth one to come out, but then I should have all
Oh,
of them
okay.
with the
Yeah,
nice
that might be
sprayed
what I
edge.
noticed. I might have just noticed there was a fifth one with a pre-order thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do
Yeah.
like this theme of like each book has a different color theme.
Yes. So
And I think the fifth one is
I'm
purple. I think that's why it stood out.
I'm really hoping Ellie has good taste because that's five of these books I'm going to be
Well,
left with on
yeah.
my shelf.
See, I really want to buy the second one if
Mm,
I like it because it's on sale at the
yeah.
moment. But I'm not going to buy it until I read the first book to make sure I want to read the second book.
Yeah.
So we shall see. And then you recommended one to me
Did I?
because I was telling you that I did want to try some more romance, more
Hmm.
contemporary romance, um, rather than just my historicals. But a lot of my romance is also in fantasy, so it's not like I don't read romance, but it's just usually mixed with fantasy. And then you said Fourth Wing, which I know
Yeah.
everyone recommends.
Yeah.
So I have this lovely paperback because I prefer the darker cover. I was tempted to get the hardcover because it was on sale, but this was much cheaper and I think looks nicer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes, we'll see
I
how this goes. I do like the idea because see, this is another like training
yeah.
sort of book, you know, someone going
Yeah.
in having to learn something, and I do like those kind of things. Also, I haven't read anything with dragons in for quite some time, so
I'm so excited to hear your thoughts on this because I do think there are really valid criticisms that people could level at that book. But I would say when you want a popcorn book, where it's like I just need something that I can just find pure entertainment and I don't have to think too much about it, that's the book that you should reach for.
well, I will hopefully get to it sometime soon. And the other two were recommended by the owner of my favorite bookshop. She does videos on TikTok. So one was just the second book, I think, she was showing off because it has just come out. So I picked up the first book, which is Long Live Evil.
Oh, I saw this. Yes, I saw this in my shop.
Yeah, so I got the big size paperback, partially because if I buy book two, it's a new release, it'll be a big size.
Yeah.
Over here, they're this size, and then about a year later, they'll be released in the smaller paperback. And also, the smaller paperback doesn't have purple, and I like the
Okay.
purple. So it
Yeah.
has, was it gold maybe or something? And book two is green, so I want to have the purple
Right.
and green. So this is about a girl who's dying, and she gets a second chance to enter the world of her favorite fantasy series. And she does have a character, her favorite character in the series, so that's the romance bit. But she finds out that she is actually the villain in the story.
Interesting.
So
See,
that intrigues me.
I was going to buy it. When it came out in hardback, it had a spray lead version that sold out, and I've just I didn't want to pay a lot on eBay for it, and I wasn't 100% sure because it is kind of on the romancing side of things. I was just like, "Do you know what? I'm going to be okay with letting that one go."
Well, I plan to read this quite soon, so I can let you
Yeah,
know
if you're like, "This
how
is really
romancy
good,"
it is, and whether it's more
Exactly.
on the fantasy side and being the villain, or how much the
Yeah.
romance comes into it. I haven't read anything by this author before, so I have no idea. And the other one she did a little mini review on, which I never heard of, called Man Muse Monster by Naomi Gibson. So that's just come out. This is a story about a guy who he comes from this family and they're all celebrated for being musical or artistic or whatever, and he feels the pressure as well, and then he stumbles upon the muse, which is supernatural being trapped in a painting. So after just reading the artist recently, I'm like,
Yeah.
here we go. Here's a muse coming out of a painting to inspire someone.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, so this is also a love story. So he and starts falling for the muse, and then there's also secrets that come out about the family and stuff. So yes, this sounds really good. So I'm definitely going to be reading that soon.
Okay, so my next three. If you remember, back in I think January, I was telling you about how I was collecting all of Daniel J. Volpe's books, and back then I was like, I think I've completed the collection now. Except there's one that I'd forgotten about. Because it was available on Amazon, and I was focusing on just getting the ones that were really hard to find. But there was one that I'd almost just like catalogued in the back of my head as like, don't need to worry about that because it's just available on Amazon. So this was the Vault of Terror Tales to Tell Volume 3 that he is included in. This is like a anthology kind of book. But me being me, I can't just have a volume 3 on my shelf. So I also picked up volume 2 and volume 1. Now, there are more. This is my restraint showing here, so I hope you're proud of me here. There are more than just these three, but I thought, you know what, I only need up to Volpe for now. And if I like these, maybe I'll get the others. But I'm gonna exercise restraint and only get these three for now. I think there's another like 3 or 4 that are available. But let's see if these are any good first. But
Yes.
now that's all of Daniel J. Volpe's books that he has either written or contributed to in my collection.
This month is my birthday month, so it's given me some extra books. But I specifically went out to buy myself a birthday present. So I bought a copy of a book that I thought I already owned and was buying a second copy, but apparently I already own 2 copies, so I bought myself a 3rd copy. But that is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen.
That's very fancy.
So this is a nice little hardcover, has sprayed edges, which the light is on that, so it's just a nice kind of that.
Oh, look at the way that the camera's doing a focus pull as well.
Yeah, yay for new camera. I was going to say this is my favourite Jane Austen, but I forget that I actually haven't read that many of her books, but because I've seen so many movie adaptations, I feel like I know the stories. But of what I've read so far, this is my favourite. Possibly controversial opinion, I say, who cares about Darcy when you have Henry Tilney? So he's the better catch, I think. So I grabbed that, and then while I was there, I bought a book that is one of my most anticipated books that I didn't know there was a paperback out, and I didn't want to buy the hardcover in case I didn't like it because it's expensive. So I got Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman.
I've heard so many good things about this.
Yeah, so I had no idea. Like, I know there's a whole history of this book because it was actually written in 2012 or something, but just has fully come out this year. But I had only heard of it this year, and yes, I keep hearing people talk about it, and everyone is really enjoying it. It sounds really interesting, so I will be reading this very soon. I also really love this cover, so if I do enjoy it a lot, I might pick up the hard. I don't know, it has sprayed black edges, it looks kind of cool. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I have it now and I didn't have to pay hardcover price, so I shall read it very soon.
That's very exciting. Okay, I have a book that this was a whole challenge to get hold of. So I don't know if you have it in Australia. We have a store called Forbidden Planet.
I've heard of that. I don't think we
Yeah,
have
we
one
have
here.
different like branches across the UK, and I had this book pre-ordered with them. I think I pre-ordered it maybe last October, November time, and it was due out, say, December, and then every 2 weeks I would get an email that was like, "Oh, your pre-order, the book, the release date has been moved back 2 weeks," and this kept happening. Now we're in May.
Why didn't they
Every
just
2 weeks.
start saying a month or more and not have to
Right.
send that many things out?
But here's the thing, I started getting suspicious. So at the start of this month, I looked up, and we've got another store called Blackwell's, which had the book and had it in stock. So something is clearly going on the Forbidden Planet side, where instead of just saying we don't have stock, they're like pushing back the release date or some nonsense. I don't know. I cancelled that pre-order. Got it from Blackwell's. It arrived. It is Psycho, the novel by Robert Bloch, and this is, of course, a sprayed edge version. Oh, look, now I'm doing the focus pull. But yeah, I didn't
Nice.
realize how short of a book this would be, which I think is going to make it a more what's the word, like digestible read. Like it makes me more likely to pull it from the shelf because it's like, well, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it. But yeah, very much like the throwback to the Hitchcock movie with the design of this book. So
Yeah, that's a really pretty design. I
yeah,
don't. It's escaped my memory that that was based on a book. And
yeah,
I must have seen someone else talking about that release or something because, yeah, I saw something a while ago and I was like, oh, it's a book. But yes, I would like to read
yeah,
that. It'd be interesting, I think,
yeah.
to see. I have a book that I picked up because of the cover. Well, actually, I picked it up because of the cover of a new book coming out from this author later this year. But when I then went to look at his other books, it's interesting because this book is the same art design on the cover, but then he has these other books that are like historical wartime things that they have pretty covers, but they're different. It's like a foggy street kind of
Okay.
cover thing. So this one is Northwoods by Daniel Mason. I got a nice hardcover on special. I don't think it has anything on it, just has colours.
Yeah.
And this book is one of those books. It's about a house in the woods of New England, and it's just talking about people who have lived in it across, or the area across the centuries. So it's just one of those focus on a place, go through time books. And yeah, so I thought I'd get this now and read it, and if I enjoy it, then I will pre-order the new one that has a similar design. I just hate the fake sticker. I'm like, it would look so much nicer if it didn't have this sticker like printed on it. Can't get it off. So yes. Anyway,
this collection of books. So as we've previously established, I like to get horror anthologies. Normally because an author that I like has contributed to them. However, there is a UK series that has been going for a while now that I saw on Amazon a way back, and I was like, it's kind of cool. I like what they're doing here, and I was really hoping that the guy that like pulls this all together, his name is Kevin J. Kennedy. I was really hoping he'd be at one of the indie horror events that I go to, because I wanted to try and do like some sort of deal where I could, like, you know, if I buy a whole bunch of them, can I get a bit of a discount and can I get them signed and all that sort of thing. I'm on Facebook. I'm part of a group of this like horror buy sell book thing, and he was selling a bunch of books that we're going to talk about in part 2. But that opened up the doors for me to start chatting with him because I picked all those up. I was like, hey, do you sell all of these like yourself? And he was like, yeah, I can do you a deal if you're looking for a deal. Of course I was looking for a deal. So I've picked up 31 books of the horror collection, and each one is like, it's like a different color. So you've got like the green edition, the red edition, etc., etc. And then he also threw in like a bunch of extra stuff as well. So
nice.
Yeah. So here's how we're going to do this. Give me a color and I'm going to find it.
Oh, purple.
I didn't think about this. I'm sure I've seen a purple one. Is it that one? Hang on. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the horror collection, purple edition.
So is there a theme?
So some of them are themed. This is the third one that was released. This is the one thing that slightly bothers me, is they're not numbered. So like,
yeah, so you have to have your own list. Yeah.
It does say the horror collection book 3. So this is the third one. It says on the back. Just says this brings together some of the best horror writers. So it features stories from Ray Garton, Kelly Armstrong, Simon Clarke, Gord Rollo, Chad Lutsky, Mike Duke, Christina Burling, David Owen Hughes, P. Matten, and then Kevin J. Kennedy. I've not heard of any of those authors. But yeah, I don't think purple has a theme. But what is interesting is each one has been signed, and they've got little like notes. So like this one says to Liam, this book was the first time I got to work with authors that I had been reading for years. Gordon Rollo, Armstrong, and Clark. So there's like a little like
That's
story
really
behind it, which I
cool.
think, yeah, give me
Yeah.
another color.
It's nice when you got so many that he still personalized the notes in them.
Yeah, I imagine it must
Orange.
have been annoying for him. Okay, I know that there's an orange one somewhere. I've just got to actually. Okay, maybe there isn't an orange one, but no, but there is. Hang on, I just want to double confirm. Instead of orange, we have. Oh, we've got two options. Would you say amber is a kind of orange, or is it more of a gold?
It's probably more of a gold,
All right, well, we have the
maybe,
pumpkin
depending.
edition then,
Oh yeah,
which is
that's
probably about
orange.
as orange as you're going to get.
Yeah, that fits.
Um, this is book 8. Um,
Does it have a
and
Halloween theme?
it's their pumpkin themed
Pumpkin.
stories.
Oh, okay,
So
nice.
whether you need a Halloween treat or just a daily dose of horror, there is something between the covers for everyone. Stories by Mark Lukens, J.C. Michael, Stephen Stacey, and Zoltan Kamor. This is a bit of a thinner one than the purple one. Give me another color.
Green.
Okay, so green, I think you've got some options. Um, there is just somewhere, I believe the first one that he did was a kind of greeny one, but what you've got is. I'll do this one. I'm going to give you two since you picked green. We've got the Emerald edition, which is kind of green enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is book 7. This has Mark Allen Gunnell's Ramsey Campbell, who was at the horror event that I went to in Liverpool as a special guest author. Nicola Lombardi, Christian Laforet, Steve Shred, Veronica Smith, Kevin J. Kennedy, and Zoltan Kamor appears again. This says that between these pages you will find tales of hauntings, revenge, parasitic entities, and struggles during the apocalypse, and a bizarro version of hell, which is interesting. The little note in this one says, to Liam, can't help thinking of the Emerald City from the Wizard of Oz when I look at this one. So some of it's just, the ramblings of someone that 7 books into signing it is just like, fuck, Wizard of Oz, I guess. And then there's also this one, the Green Diamond edition. So still green.
That's a bit chunky.
This is the 25th. This is, the 25th one. Is there... I'm trying to see if there's any like theme for this one, but no, not really. It's just madness lurks in the echoing halls of forgotten asylums, where sanity is nothing
Ooh.
more than a memory.
That's very intriguing description.
You'll wander through haunted farms where the land itself breeds terror and come face to face with cryptids that were never meant to be seen. The mythos of Cthulhu rises again, reaching into the deepest corners of cosmic dread. So, and then okay. One last colour to round out my first. Wait, am I doing 5 or 7? I've got confused.
Did you say 7 or 6?
I'll do 6. I've done 4 so far.
Okay. What have we got? Yellow.
Yellow is a
Although
great colour.
there's,
That's my favourite colour.
We've got that amber. There's probably a gold one, I'm assuming.
Well, save these colours. Don't worry, I've yellow we're sorted.
Okay, there is a yellow as well. Oh,
there is a
that's
yellow,
very yellow.
Yeah. Do you know why yellow is my favourite colour?
Why?
Because not only is it like associated with happiness, typically, right? But you know me, I like to overthink these things, so I have a justified reason. I like really bright yellows. So, like, my phone has a yellow case, for example, and to keep a yellow like that bright requires a little bit of care, because otherwise it's going to get grubby and dirty really easily. So I like bright yellows because you've got the happiness side of it, but also you've got just the it needs to be looked after to retain its specialness, and I like that. So yeah, we have the yellow edition. This is book 9. This edition promises a mix of styles and horror subgenres, giving readers the eerie chills of dread, bloody ritualistic horror, the terrors of technology when it develops a consciousness of its own, insanely creative and trippy bizarro, and the desperation love racks on the heart. And this one just says to Liam, "Stay spooky." So, all right, one
Well,
more,
that's a
and then
very
we'll...
nice message to have in the yellow book. That's your favourite colour.
yeah, exactly. One more, and then we'll go back to you.
Okay, blue. And I'm sure you'll have a few to pick from.
There's a turquoise. That's kind of blue, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll do.
I'm just making sure that isn't like. Do you know what? There isn't just a blue. There's sapphire.
Oh, sapphire's blue.
All right, we'll do sapphire. But yeah, I'm surprised there isn't just blue.
Well, I guess yeah, in a way, sapphire, fancy way of saying blue,
Yeah.
like emerald.
So yeah, this is the sapphire edition. Doesn't mention. Oh, I think this is the 13th. Yeah, this is the 13th one. And this one says to Liam, "This remains one of my favourite covers." So it's also another pretty chunky one.
Yeah. Is there a consistency to the size? Is it that it got more popular as it went and the books became bigger, or it's just random depending
All over the place.
what he pulled together for that particular book? Interesting.
Yeah, all over the place sizing. All right, back to you.
Let's do this indie one. There's a YouTube channel, Jonathan Cohn, that I've been watching, and the author sent him a couple of books, and he just like held them up to show them off. And I was like, "Oh, that's a really pretty cover. I need to look up what that is." And then it sounded really interesting, so I bought it. So this is the cover, Land of the Ill-Imagined by Alexander
That is a nice
Robb.
cover.
So I'll just read you the first paragraph. Pyrrhus wakes up atop a vast ocean only to be told the impossible. He doesn't exist. He's a thought-lean, a character trapped in the land of the ill-imagined, an endless purgatory where forgotten ideas and half-formed creations live a strange half-life, forever on the cusp of creation yet never able to be fully realized. And so it just follows him. He joins this group that hunt down dangerous villains to keep the place peaceful, but then, you know, he uncovers a darker truth. And yeah, so it sounds like quite fascinating, I think. So
Yeah.
yes, I will report back when I have read it.
I'm going to speed through these next
Yeah.
7, just because I don't know how long it will take you to land on the colour of neon. This is the neon edition. I'm just seeing if it has the number. I can't see it easily. Oh, this has a story by Carlton Melick III in it. So remember that name. We'll be speaking more about him in future videos. This just says, to Liam, all the best. That's it. So, yeah, we've got the Neon Edition. We have the Amber Edition. This has ravenous zombies, bloodthirsty vampires, and savage werewolves. Step into haunted carnivals, face devils in the dark, and uncover the horrors of Sawney Bean S. legacy. This has a story by MJ Mars, who is one of the indie horror authors that goes to conventions. I've read the Phobia Experiments by her, which is really good. Would definitely recommend that. I'm not recognizing any of the other names. And this says, to Liam, enjoy. So I do feel like there was a point where he was just like, I want to get to the end of this before, you know, I spent my whole life just signing these books. Then we have, this is an interesting cover, the Crystal Edition. Oh, spooky, witchy. This is book number 22. And it is a delectable nightmare of new stories from an elite team of horror authors that cover a range of horror subgenres. Not hugely descriptive there. That's the inscription on this one. So, right, so that's 3 that we've done. Ooh, then we have the Sinister Edition. So that's a fun little skull. I'm just seeing, are there any names that I recognise? Jeff Strand is a fairly popular name within horror. This says, to Liam, stay sinister. So, you know. Then we have the Monster Edition, which I think is the first one that's moved away from the I mean, there's a bit of a skull there, but the skull theme has been very prominent, but not so much in this one. No names that I recognise. Oh yes, there is. Ash Ericmore is a name that I recognise. And then this says, there is a monster inside all of us, is what's been signed in that one. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 2 more. Oh, this looks like a fun one. This is the Nightmare Edition. This is book 12. And are there any names that Lee Mountford is an indie horror author in the UK. I've got a bunch of their books. They have like a 10 series collection called Haunted, all about a place called Perrin Manor and the hauntings that happen there, which I haven't read yet, but I really want to. To Liam, here are some daytime nightmares for you, is the inscription in that one. And then last one before I hand it back to you, Frankie, we have the Hell Edition. So this is Edward Lee, who is quite a big name in like extreme horror, kind of one of the first authors that really popularized that sort of subgenre. I don't recognize any of the other names, and this one hasn't been signed. So he must have got bored.
Okay, I will just do these 2 together. I got 2 non-fiction books this month. They're both memoir type things. So I got Just Ignore Him by Alan Davies, because he has a new book out and this is the first one. So this is about his childhood growing up, and I think the other one is maybe to do with his career more, perhaps. He's one of my favourite comedians, and actors. I was obsessed with Jonathan Creek when that came out. So it's forever will be a favourite. And then I didn't know David Lynch had a book out, Room to Dream.
Oh, interesting.
Which is a lovely
That's a
cover
chunky book.
It's a chunky.
Is that
I didn't
like
realize
artwork in there?
No, it's just about his life, but there's a lot of photos.
Yeah, okay.
It's just, I think it's just him. It doesn't have stuff on the back. I think he's just, I mean, he's talking about art, but it's just, about his life and friendships and creativity and whatever. And it goes right up until his movies and everything, because I can see photos from working on different movies. So I didn't actually realize he had written something himself. So, of course, I had to get it when I saw it. But yeah, I just saw a picture of it online. I did not expect it to be this big. So
that is,
I mean, it's decent, small font. So there's quite a bit here. And some interesting photographs. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so David Lynch is probably my favorite director overall. I really enjoy his movies. So yes, I did see the documentary that came out, The Art of Life or something it was called. which is pretty good. So, because I don't know a lot about his life, outside of movie making.
Okay, I'll get through my next 7. This is Splatterpunk Dreams. So this one I'm very much looking forward to. This has names like Veronica Smith I recognise, and Candice Nola I recognise, and Edward Lee, who we spoke about previously. The inscription just says, to Liam, this one is mental. So, you know me, I like my splatterpunk, so I'm excited for that one. Then we've got the sci-fi edition, which is interesting. The inscription here, it just says, this one is a little different, which makes sense. Then we have the black edition. This is book 2. So, any names that I recognise? Not really. And this says, things get dark with this black edition. So, following the black edition, I then have the Onyx edition. Does this have the number on it anywhere easily to see? No, of course not. Why would it? That would make my life too easy. This says, to Liam, hope you enjoy. This is another one of the chunkier ones. I've got so many of these to get through. Then there is Extreme Edition. So another one that I think I will enjoy. This has a UK author called Matt Shaw in it, who I'm sure in the future we will talk about. He's been at a couple of the horror conventions. Super interesting dude. Writes really weird, out there stuff. I've only read one of his books so far. I have a small collection of his books. Some of them, the covers, I will not be able to show on here.
Those
I think I showed them to you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure after we recorded once I showed you some of them, didn't I?
Probably, yeah. I don't remember names, but yes, I do remember you showing me those covers.
It just says, to Liam, plenty of extreme tales in this one for you. So that'll be fun. And then we have the Topaz edition. This is book 19. We've got Lee Mountford again. Lee Kenny is an Irish author. I've got one of her books called Hush My Darling, which I'm really excited to read. No other names there that are massively jumping out. And it just says, to Liam, look into his eyes. So that's 6. I'll do one more. Here we go. We have the Lost edition. This is book 14. Judith Sonnet. She is an extreme horror author who I've read 2 of her books. One called No One Rides for Free, which is quite a well-known extreme horror. Nasty, very nasty book. And one called Repugnant, which takes place at Halloween, which I quite enjoyed. Any other names in here that I recognise? No new ones that we haven't previously discussed. And this one says, to Liam, we're all a little lost. So that's another 7, I think, done.
Okay. I know I told you online that I bought a romance book that I'd been eyeing for some time because I really liked the cover.
Yeah.
So this is the book. It's called Ambush of the Heart. I just really like this cover. So
talk me through what it is about that cover that you like.
Guy looks hot.
Cool. I was wondering if that was the reason. Good to know.
I do like scenic covers, but so this is the
first. But
first.
mostly, guy looks hot.
Yeah. Rocky Mountain Marshals, book 1. So this is set like back in the day. So this guy is taking an escaped prisoner, and then gets ambushed, and then um, he takes them to hide somewhere, and then there's a woman who is helping. Basically, yeah, they have to try survive, so they're thrown together, and there's a romance.
So this is. Did you say this is Rocky Mountain Marshall's book one? Did you say?
Yes, book 2 is coming out later this year.
Oh, so it's ongoing. It's not even a.
Well, this
This is
is
how many there
no,
are.
this is yeah, it's ongoing. Usually they're written in trilogies, sometimes
Okay.
longer, but the standard format for these kinds of authors is that it will be a trilogy, and it will probably be,
Yeah.
a separate romance in each book that will be,
Okay.
a side character gets a main book is
Yeah.
generally how they go. So, yeah, probably not a direct sequel. It's probably just someone else in this world. So,
Have you heard of a book series called something like Seven Sisters?
yes, the Lucinda Riley books.
Yeah, yeah. So, one of my mum's friends last year got obsessed with them and kept banging on about it to my mum. So every time me and my mum would go out shopping, my mum would like start scouring, like charity shops and secondhand shops trying to find, and she never found a single one in this series.
Really?
And I got, yeah,
It's such
and
a
I got so
popular
annoyed.
series.
I got so annoyed being dragged around these shops just looking for them and never finding them that for Christmas I just got her a set of all eight, I think, were in total. Um, Honestly, she has been obsessed with these
I've
books.
read about 3 or 4 of them. Um,
Yeah,
and my mum's read them too, and I have borrowed the books from her to keep
yeah,
reading. Yeah, they're pretty good.
yeah. My mum's on the last one, and she started January, which is just yeah.
Yeah.
How many more have you got left?
I've got 2 single books and then a grouping.
Cool. Okay, I've got like 12, so I'll do 6 and 6. Easy. Right, we've got the Blood Red edition. Um, this I don't know what number this is. And it doesn't have. Oh yes. This has any author names that are jumping out to me? No. But this just says this is a bloody good read. So that's fitting. Then Christmas edition. Now
Nice.
I don't know about you. I love a festive themed
Yeah.
horror. It's yeah. Like give me a Silent Night, Deadly Night any day. So this is interesting to me. Um, I'm just seeing if there are any names here that stand out, but nope, no names that I recognise. This just says to Liam, "Merry Christmas when it comes." So then we've got the Silver edition. This is book 5. Um, and this says to Liam, "From one horror lover to another," which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Pink edition. This is book 6. No names that I recognise involved in this one, and this says to Liam, "I just had to do a pink horror book," which fair play. Fully in support of that. We have the LGBTQIA plus edition. This is number 15. Um, doesn't have a list of authors on the back. This just says to Liam, "Enjoy." I'm just seeing, is there a list of who was involved in this? Here we go. Any names that I recognise? Oh, James. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. James Lefebvre. Probably got that wrong. He was at the Liverpool Horror Book event. He was at the one before that as well. I got to chat to him the night before the event. Super cool guy. I've got 3 of his books now, and he always uses the same artist to design his covers, and they all have this very like consistent striking like visual
Mm.
theme. So yes, pleased that he's got a story in this. So that makes me more excited to get to that one. Um, and then last one for now is the Mort edition.
Mm.
Um, this is the 21st book, and this says to Liam, I love this cover so much that I got a similar image tattooed on my torso.
Oh,
So
nice.
there we go.
Another one that I got as part of my read more romance, but also staying in the fantasy, is Assistant to the Villain, which I'd never heard of, but seems to be quite popular. And there's like 4 books in the series, I think, now.
Yeah, I have that somewhere.
There is some nice hardcover editions with sprayed edges that I have my eye on, because they're the kind of cheaper hardcovers, so they're reasonable prices. I think book 2 is coming out this week, and I was tempted to pre-order it because it was like $10 cheaper, but
Is that Apprentice to the Villain?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's been out in the UK for a while. So that fantasy book club that the bookshop that I go to, someone there recommended it to me months ago, so I picked it up with my 10% discount.
Yeah, so this is about a girl that's looking for a job, and then she meets an infamous villain and becomes his assistant. And it just I love the whole villains as you're with the villains rather than against them. So, and chuck in some romance is always a good thing. And I had a whole bunch of romance books, and I was reading samples to see if I wanted to keep reading them, and the one for this was really fun. I actually didn't even read the whole thing. I got so far and just went, yep, I need this book. So this is one of the ones I'll be getting to sooner.
You can tell me if it's worth me picking up, since it's on my shelf already.
I'm hoping it will be super, super fun.
I have White Edition, which again, I don't know if this is another Christmassy themed. Yeah, bring you festive treats and Yuletide chills. This is book 4. So this says, to Liam, ho ho horror.
So does that mean if you get up to that book and the other book in the series and it's like March, does that mean you can't continue the series until December or whenever you want to read seasonally, or will you read it any time of year?
I have in the past, I don't know if books, there's definitely been Christmas themed horror, not horror, just Christmas themed movies that I have watched earlier in the year, but it feels wrong.
Yeah.
So when I do my How Did This Get Made podcast watch along, every now and again I get to like a Christmas movie, because I think they release episodes like every 2 weeks. And if you're dedicated and you're kind of watching like multiple in a week, it's quite easy to like start catching up. So yeah, for those movies, I've watched Christmas movies out of season and it feels wrong. So this I actually think is quite a nice way of being like, right, this year, this Christmas, let me try and read the 4 to get to this one. And then that gives me the next year to read however many to get to the next Christmas edition. Might be a way
I guess too, with that kind of series, you can leave it for a really long time and focus on other things, because it's just anthology books. So it's not like you have details to forget or anything, because you're getting new stories every time.
Yeah, I very much will be dipping in and out of this anthology series. And what is really nice about it is currently there are no author projects that I'm doing that have contributed to this. So you've got no Aaron Beauregard, you've got no Daniel J. Volpe. There is another anthology series that you can't really see. It's on one of those shelves. And Daniel J. Volpe contributed to the 14th in the series. So I've got to read 13 others before I get to that one. Yeah. Anyway. Sometimes I hate the way my brain works, but you know, here we are. It's all going to be content at the end of the day for the podcast. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
You'll never run out.
This is the gold edition. This is the first book in a new series of mini anthologies. I didn't know they did that. This says to Liam, the journey begins here. Oh, maybe this is the first one then. That makes more sense.
Oh, maybe that's why some of them were so tiny, and then they
Yeah.
decided to do full length ones.
Yeah. This is, I think, my favorite of the covers. This is the evil edition. That I think is cool. Are there any authors whose names I recognize? Can't even see where the authors are listed. This just says to Liam, hope you enjoy. And then authors involved in this one. Harrison Phillips is a name that I recognize. Stephen Barnard. He's been at some of the horror conventions. I've got a couple of his books that I'm planning to get to soon. We have the turquoise edition. I don't know what number this is. This says, to Liam, thank you for the support. It means a lot. So that's nice. Then we've got the ruby edition. This doesn't have any names that stand out to me. This says, to Liam, published this just after my dad died. Put a poem he wrote that I found in this book.
Oh.
So, yeah. Which I'm assuming on the back is John Kennedy. So that's kind of a nice little memento, I guess. So those were the 31 in that collection. But then he also sent me a stack of like extra books that were just like bonus essentially. I'm going to zip through these. We've got 100-word horrors. So this is like literally, I don't know how each page is a different author doing a 100-word horror story. Now, I'm just going to take a moment. I know I said I'd whiz through these quickly, but the way I review anthologies on Goodreads is I like to write a little thing about each story. I am going to end up, if I do a little thing on each one of these, my Goodreads review is probably going to be longer than this fucking book.
Maybe for that one, you should just like write about your top 10 or something, and just note your favorites,
or just each one like a one-word, like yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because if I do what I normally do, that's
that will be helpful for you too for new authors. Well, I won't be actually, because can you judge an author based on a 100-word story? 100 words. But you would at least know if someone did a really amazing 100-word story, that'd be one that you would want to look for longer stories.
That's true. That's the other thing, right? Is this whole collection is because as I was going through those authors, there was a lot that I didn't recognize. So it should hopefully open me up to.
Was there a lot of repetition in the books? Was there a lot of returning? So at least if you discover a new author, you get a few stories along the way if you don't seek out other things in between.
Yeah. But I think like there's definitely some repetition, but there's a lot of authors. Like overall, I would say you probably easily got 100 authors contributed easily.
It's dangerous for you.
It's very dangerous. So then we've got Tales from Halloween Land. I'm assuming Halloween Land is something. And these are short stories that are based off of it. I need to do some research into that one. Then we've got this Nothing is Real. I don't know what that is. So, yeah, these are all just things that were added. We've got Kevin J. Kennedy's A to Z of horror. So this is 24 stories. I'm assuming each one inspired by a letter. For example, if I have a quick look at the table of contents, A is for After the Apocalypse, B is for By the Seaside, C is for Crabs versus the AYT, and so on and so forth. So that's that. We have, oh, here we go, The Clown, a Halloween Land story. So clearly this Halloween Land is a thing that I need to look into. And then lastly, I can't remember if this was a freebie or if this was something that I purchased. Because he was selling a bunch of other stuff as well. And there was some that sounded interesting, so I grabbed a couple of them, but I've added that for the video next time. But this is just as rejected for content. Warning, this book contains extreme violence, kinky sex, and naughty language. So that sounds like a bit of me. Splattergore. Oh, this is edited by someone called Kat Darman. I wonder if Kevin J. Kennedy contributed to it, or if I just picked it up because I thought it sounded interesting. I don't know, but that's half of the book haul for this month.
Okay, so you're finished?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got two
Finally.
more. I've got one book and then like a little grouping. So I picked up another Richard Powers book, The Echo Maker, because I read the Overstory a few years back now and I really loved it. This one is about a guy who has an accident and his sister comes back to their hometown to look after him, and he comes out of a coma and then he thinks that his sister is not actually his sister. And just like an imposter that just seems like her. And so the book follows her dealing with that and him also trying to find out what really happened in the accident. So sounds interesting. Big book.
Yeah.
And I do have another book on my shelf by Richard Powers that it's funny. I bought that straight after I read the Overstory because I loved it so much, and it's to do with music and something, so it's really interesting. This one I saw up for pre-order ages ago, and it's been so long now that not only has the book come out, but it's come out in the smaller paperback size, so that's how long it takes me to get to things. And my last one, I have a little bit of show and tell. I picked up Devil in Disguise by Lisa Kleypas. This is the book 7, I think it is, the last book in the Ravenel series, which I can now start because I own all the books. I wasn't waiting for that, but now I've got all the books. I'm like, yes, I want to go through it. And so this is the one I just want to show off, because then I also decided to pick up the 3 books that I don't have in the mass market with the covers. Because see, this is the covers for the rest of them that I have. We've got, they're just like...
Yeah, so that's the one that I think, because I was
dresses.
editing for TikTok, our January book haul, and that was one that was on there.
So I just really like these covers. So I had these other books, which I don't think I paid for these, so I don't mind buying another copy, because this is what's here, released here. But I can have the mass market, which also, this one has the step back, so got a nice little inside cover. Seems to be random if you get a step back or not when you order mass market, because I looked at some reprinting dates and it seems to come and go, so it's kind of like try your luck if you're ordering online. I don't know what order these are, but yes, so then we have, boring. Also, this doesn't tell you that you're getting a sexy historical romance. This looks like you're probably getting a non-sexy historical romance. So it could throw a lot of people to then find all the spicy stuff. So I got the mass market that doesn't have step back on this one. And finally, see, I just find these covers quite boring. And they look more like a Jane Austen type thing rather than just a sexy romance book. So I got the mass market for that one as well. That one doesn't want to focus. There we go. And this one has the step back as well.
Yeah, see, that's definitely giving more of a sexy vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, I now have the whole series in the mass markets. The only thing is, because I've just bought them randomly over years, over time, this is also not in order, but the spines don't quite
Uh,
line up.
yeah.
A lot of them do, but then there's different versions, there's different Avon logos, and then sometimes the logos
Yeah.
at the top. So they don't line up as nicely as like the Wallflowers series, say, which I bought all at the same time. But they're just, the covers are so pretty that I'm happy to just have. And you know, my mass market paperback romances, I don't really care about spines matching like I do in the sort of larger books that are part of a continuing series. Whereas these books are similar to the other ones. They have their standalone couple stories in each one, and then a side character becomes a main character in the other books, and so on.
So the mass market paperbacks that you got that don't have the step back covers, did they do versions of them that do have that?
Yeah, I think all of them do have versions like
So are
that,
you
because
going
I
to be
think it used
looking for
no.
those? Okay.
If I see them at a, like, I go to my book fest and I found
Yeah.
paperbacks there. If I just come across one in the wild, secondhand, I will pick it up. But I'm not gonna like pay
Yeah.
to buy another new one because I have this one. So yeah,
Okay.
I don't care that much about them
Yeah.
to go out of my way and potentially pay a fair amount to get one with a step back. But apparently America's getting rid of mass market paperbacks because we don't do them over here this size. We just do I have a normal? Oh, like this size. This is probably, I think they're called B format, I heard someone say. So generally we go this size to this size.
Yeah.
Hardbacks, not common in stores, cost a fortune. You kind of have to do them. Well, now special editions have come out. You see more in stores, but it's usually special editions because the hardbacks are double the price of this.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing here to have these really tiny ones. I used to import them in a lot, especially for romances because they have the better covers. And you couldn't get them in stores here until the Bridgerton TV series made them more popular. So now you can see Julia Quinn books in stores. But yeah, I do like a mass market for books like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's another reason why I thought I should collect the series, because if they're going out of print in that format, and apparently that style of cover is also going out of fashion as well. So as long as they don't start doing the cartoony illustrated covers, because I hate them, and I've actually bought books on Kindle or, you know, not purchased because I hate those covers. I don't mind an illustrated, like painting like cover, but that style that's on every romance, I don't like.
Not
it.
for you.
No.
So I think this is it for part 1 of our May book haul, but there will be a part 2 coming. So still, you've still got books heading your way that you're not aware of, right? That will be, I guess, like birthday presents and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fairly confident. So we're recording this, for me, it's just going into the start of Saturday the 30th of May when we record this. I'm fairly confident I won't be picking up any more books this month. So I've got a good idea of how many I've done, which, like I said, this month alone, the number is at a minimum 70. Probably more like 80.
See, I mean, you kind of have that thing though, if you've bought some lots of books. So it's expected when you buy a collection like that. Whereas my number is not that big, but it's still a big number, and it's just because I've bought a load of random books. So yes, I have no excuse except I'm just really excited about books. So.
Which is the best excuse. So yes, come back next time to see all the other books that we picked up in May, because there's still There's still a lot more to go.
I don't have too many. I think I did more than half this time. So I
Okay.
think I'll have a bit less next time.
I think I did a bit under half this time.
Yeah, but you have another bulk lot, so
Yeah.
it makes it a bit harder for you to split your books between.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get this out pretty soon. It'll be a little while for part 2. We're going to record it at a later date, so but we will have 1 or 2 other things come out in between time.
Of course.